Algebra review on quadratics. Which relation is a quadratic? Well, we know right here that we can mark A off because a quadratic always has an x squared in it. Okay? Because the standard form of a quadratic is ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay? Now this one, it has an x squared, it has an x, and then it has this plus 1. So I'm going to leave that because I'm not 100% sure right now. C, it has a cube. Quadratics do not have anything cubed in them. So we know C is gone. So right off the bat, we've already marked off 2 choices and we're down to a 50-50 chance. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to graph these. So I'm going to go to y equals, open parentheses, 2x squared, close parentheses. Now I'm going to type it in just like it shows on the paper. I'm going to hit graph. Does that look like a quadratic? Does that look like a parabola? No. Okay. So we know it's not B. Let's graph D just to make sure. So we're going to do open parentheses, x plus 5, close parentheses, squared. We'll hit graph. And there you go. You have a parabola. So a quadratic looks like a parabola or a horseshoe. So we know that the answer is D. So I would use your calculators on those. What are the x-intercepts of 3, open parentheses, x minus 1, close parentheses, and then open parentheses, x plus 2, close parentheses, equals 0. All right, so what I'm going to do, the first thing I want to do, y'all, is I want to get rid of that 3 up front. So what you do is you divide by 3, divide by 3. Actually, I probably should rewrite that on the video so that y'all can actually see it here. 3 x minus 1, x plus 2 equals 0. So now I'm going to divide this side by 3, but what you do to one side, you must do to the other. That cancels this out, and that gives me 0, right? So I have x minus 1 and x plus 2 equals 0. So now to find the x-intercept is where y equals 0. So I'm just going to set each equation equal to 0. Do I remember doing that? So x minus 1 equals 0. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides. X equals 1. Then I have x plus 2 equals 0. So I subtract 2 on both sides. X equals negative 2. So my x-intercepts are going to be negative 2 and 1. What is the y-intercept for y equals 3x squared minus 2x minus 5? So to find the x-intercept, y has to be 0. So to find the y-intercept, what has to be 0? X. So we're going to say x equals 0. And we're just going to fill this in. Y equals 3 times 0 squared minus 2 times 0 minus 5. Okay? So then I get y equals, this is 0, minus 0, minus 5. So y equals negative 5. And you can also tell y equals negative 5 because right there it's going to move that parabola down 5 units. Okay, but I would always double check by filling it in. All right. Number 4, the points negative 5, 6, and 3, 6 are located on the same parabola. What is the equation of the axis of symmetry for this parabola? Okay. This is what I do. I cannot zoom my phone in. Okay. So what I'm going to do, y'all, is I'm actually just going to plot these 2 points because the axis of symmetry is right in the middle of the 2 points, right? So you could use the distance formula. You can do different things, but what I'm going to do is I just want to plot these things and then figure out where it's at. You have that graph paper that they give to you anyways when you go to take a test. So I'm going to go to negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, and 6. That's negative 5. The other one is 3, 1, 2, 3, and 6. So here's my 2 points right there. So I'm going to figure out what is the distance between -5 and 3. What is the center of those two? So you can do this. You mark off -5, you mark off 3. I mean, if we have to, this is what you do. You mark off -4, you mark off 2. You mark off -3, you mark off 1. You mark off -2, you mark off 0. What is left? So x equals -1. Sometimes there's not a certain math formula. Sometimes there's not something special you got to put in the calculator. Just put it on your paper and figure it out. Okay? Number 5. What is the correct quadratic function in factored form for this parabola? Okay. Any ideas on what you want to do? Say it. Put it in the calculator. Here we go. So I'm going to go to y equals, open parentheses, x minus 2, close parentheses, and then open parentheses, x minus 3, close parentheses, graph. Does this look like this? No. Nope, so it's not that one. Okay, B. It's going to be x plus 2, x minus 3, so let's graph that one. Oopsie. Oh, can y'all see? Y'all can look at your paper, right? Okay, does that look like it? No. No, because look, this is over here, and that vertex is over here. So my vertex is on the wrong side of the y-axis. Do you see that? Okay, so it's not B. So let's look at C. X minus 2, y plus 3, and we're going to hit graph. Oh, that looks pretty close, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm going to put a little dot by it, and we're going to check the last one. X plus 2, x plus 3, and graph. And that's way off, isn't it? Okay, so the answer is C. Who likes this this method of factoring and using the calculator versus the other method? Yes. Okay. So if you can, put in your calculator, do it. All right. Here we go. Number 6. What is the equation of the axis of symmetry of the function y equals -5, open parentheses, x minus 4 squared plus 3? Okay. So the first thing we have to do is we need to get this thing to standard form, don't we? So that we can have an A, a B, and a C. All right. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my x minus 4 times x minus 4. All right. So I'm going to FOIL it. First is x squared. Outside is -4x. Inside is -4x. And last is positive 16. So then what do? Combine like terms. So I'm going to combine these two right here. And so I get x squared minus 8x plus 16. Is that what y'all got? Okay. Now this goes in place of that, correct? So I still have my -5 on the outside and a plus 3 over here. Does that make sense? So now what do we do? Huh? Distribute the -5. So you have to distribute the -5 to each term. So what is -5 times x squared? What is -5 times -8? Oopsie, plus 40x. And then -5 times 16? 80? Oh, I keep forgetting my signs. Hold on, let me try this again. So we have -5x squared. We have a positive 40x, and then we have a -80, correct? And then we have a plus 3. Now what can I do? We're going to combine like terms again, which are right here and right here. So that gives me negative 5x squared plus 40x minus 77. Now I can have an A, B, and a C, correct? So I have an A, a B, C. So actually I'm going to come over here into the margin area. I'm going to write that out. I have A equals, what's A equal? What's B equal? 40. What's C equal? 37. Okay, and what is my equation for axis of symmetry? Negative B over 2A. All right, so I have negative, and what's my B? 40. Okay, over 2 times negative 5. Sorry, I'm kind of trying to cram all this in here. And then, so this gives me negative 40 over what? Okay, and negative 40 over negative 10 equals? 4. So x equals 4. All right. Number 7. What is the range of the function y equals 5, open parentheses, x plus 1 squared minus 4? What is the range? Is range x values or y values? Y values. So how do you think we're going to figure this out? Huh? Yep, I would. So the class said put it into y equals. That's exactly what I would do. So I'd say y equals. Let's type in our function. 5, open parentheses, x plus 1, close parentheses, squared, minus 4. And we're going to graph it. Oopsie. What did I do wrong?
You had a parenthesis.
Oh, so let me delete that, and now we'll graph it. Okay, so y values. Where do you think that's at? Okay, so I'm going to show you. If you want to get to that vertex, start moving your arrow buttons. And do you see, hold on, let me move it over here in the corner. Do you see how you have a little blinking, like little plus sign? So you can kind of move it and try to get it as close to that vertex as possible. Where you have it right there. So I'm at like negative 4.19. If I move it up just a touch, I'm at negative 3.87. So what is that closest to?
4.
Negative 4. So what is my range?
1 is greater than or equal to negative 4.
Perfect. Great job. Okay. What are the coordinates of the y-intercept of the function y equals negative 1/2, open parentheses, x minus 4, close parentheses, squared plus 5? What would we do? Huh? Put it in the calculator. Now, as we're putting in the calculator, I want to ask you something. The y-intercept is what?
It's where the line crosses the y-axis.
It's where the line crosses the y-axis. What does my ordered pair look like?
Where x is 0.
Where x is 0. So if I put this into my y equals, okay, so I'm going to do open parentheses, 1 divided by 2, close parentheses. And then I'm going to open up parentheses again. I'm going to have x minus, if I can type it in right, x minus 4, close parentheses, squared, plus 5. Am I really going to graph it, or where am I going to go? To the table. So we're going to hit second graph. And where x is 0, y is?
-3.
So it says, what is the coordinate? 0, -3. You're correct. How many x-intercepts does f of x equals -3, open parentheses, x minus 2, close parentheses, squared plus 5 have? What would you do? Calculator. What is an x-intercept?
Where y is x 0.
It's where what?
Oh, it's where y is 0.
It's where y is 0, and what else?
where the line crosses the x-axis.
Okay, I want to know how many times does the line cross the x-axis. Here we go. So let's put it in. -3, open parentheses, x minus 2, close parentheses, squared, plus 5. I think I have it in there correctly. Second table. Oh, well, we can just graph it because it didn't ask me where, it just asked me how many times. How many times does that cross through the y-axis? Twice. That's your answer, 2. That's all it asks. So that would be, how many solutions does this equation have? How many roots does this equation have? The answer is 2. You're done. Unless it specifically asks, what are the solutions or what are the roots? That's all you have to do. Okay? So, the next one. The height of a golf ball. The height of a golf ball above the ground, y in meters, is modeled by the function y equals -5 squared plus 20x. Where x is the time in seconds after the ball is hit, at what time in seconds does the ball reach its maximum height? So let's think about this, okay? So we're going to hit a golf ball, and a golf ball goes up, and then it comes back down, correct? So it wants to know what is the maximum height. Are we thinking?
Yes.
So y is meters. X is seconds. What are we thinking?
How do you change the settings on the graph?
Okay, I can show you that, but there's an easier way without looking at just the graph.
Look at the table and it would be 20 meters.
Okay, you can go to the table. What's another thing? What about the axis of symmetry? Will the axis of symmetry tell me my x of my vertex? Okay, so I'm actually going to use -b over 2a. So I have negative, what is my b? 20 over 2 times, what's my a? So I have -20 over, what is 2 times -5? So what's -10 divided by, -20 divided by -10? 2. X equals 2 seconds. Sorry, the answer is just 2 seconds. Is that easier than trying to figure out the other part? Remember, your axis of symmetry, -b over 2a, is the x of the vertex. The vertex is either your max or your min. All right? Okay. The theater sits 400 people. The theater sits 400 people per show and is currently sold out with a ticket price of $10. The survey shows that for every $1 per ticket price increase, 25 fewer tickets will be sold. Which function models the situation? Okay, I'm going to help you out on this one. X is the ticket price increase. By $1. Okay, the ticket price increase by $1. So every time a ticket increased by $1, 25 fewer people show up. So we know the stadium or the theater holds how many? 400. So am I going to multiply 400 by every single ticket price increase? No. So we are going to eliminate A and B automatically. So now we just have to look at C and D. Okay? Are we going to take 400 and subtract the price increase? No. What about 400 minus 25 times the price increase? Because isn't that 25 fewer people showing up? Yes. So the answer is actually D. And if you look at this, I look at this here as tickets sold. And this one is the cost of the tickets. Sometimes you're just going to have to read the problem, look at the numbers, and figure out which numbers go together. I mean, are you really going to take, you know, there's 200 kids in school, and every time you just have to, I'm trying to come up with an analogy real quick, but you have to look at it and just put the numbers together. Where do the numbers in the word problem actually match up in the equation? There is not a special method to solve that one, okay? Number 12. What is the quadratic function? No. What is the quadratic function in vertex form represented by the parabola? So what would you do? Put them in the calculator. Okay? Now you can put all of them in the calculator, but if you do that, I think there's a chance of error. There's more of a chance for error on that one. So here we go. Negative open parentheses, x minus 2 close parentheses squared plus 1. Graph. What do you think about that? Pretty close? Okay. One thing I noticed is that this parabola is going to be facing down. The parabola is facing down. So what is in front of the equation if it's facing down? A negative. So I'm going to mark this one off. And then this parabola has been shifted up once, right? So what do I have to have at the end? +1. Okay, so I can't have the negative. Correct? And then inside the parentheses, this shifted to the right 2 times. So what do you think a +2 is going to shift to? Left. To the left. So isn't that parabola going to come over here for the second one? Yes. So isn't A my answer? Yes. Understanding the transformations will help eliminate. If you forget them, you put it in the calculator and you make it match. Okay? You'll be fine. Number 13. Which equation represents the quadratic formula y equals -2, open parentheses, x plus 1, x minus 5, in standard form? All right, here we go. What's the first thing I'm going to do? You can't divide by 2 because I'm not set equal to 0. We're going to FOIL. Okay? X plus 1, x minus 5, because it's telling me go to standard form. And standard form is the ax squared plus bx plus c. Right? Standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c. So I want to take this and get it into that form. So first is what? X squared. Outside? Inside? Last. Oh, wait. What did I do? Plus, I did it again, didn't I? Plus x. And then outside, 1 times -5 is what? -5. And then what do we do? Combine like